And welcome to another edition of XFeed. What is going on in the realm of you? Today, we're going to highlight some things that are crazy about AI, but also why it's going to be good amongst a lot of doomerism. We are going to talk about how everyone is seemingly wanting to do a altcoin ETF of various sorts or treasury. Everyone's coming up with different ways to try to get attention back over to whatever they are working on, holding, whatever it may be, and a whole lot more as the fact that this is crypto week, and it feels like we've seen the market absolutely rise, but arguably for a Monday, it feels extraordinarily quiet. So we'll see what happens over on that front. So get a load of this. There's going to be a video with it too. But the post reads, today my Tesla Model 3 saved my fiance, dog, and my life. While using the Tesla AI in full self-driving mode on a morning drive to pick up brunch, we approached a green arrow to turn left. My car hesitated. I was confused and felt like it was going against my will. But that's when all of a sudden, wha-bam, a wall burst past us and T-boned the car next to us going straight. I immediately went to park and check on the person. They were all A-okay. But look at this. So again, the car is wanting to turn left here, decides to stop because it's got the full whole 360 situationally aware. And like imagine, absolutely horrifying. And when you're looking at that, you're like, okay, wow. How can these sort of things save my life, enhance my life? And that's where I think a lot of things are going to happen in a positive way amongst this AI stuff. But to be totally honest, this is also why AI is needed. So I go to a place, right? I do an online order and I go over to the pickup window because it's like, I've already ordered, I'm going to the pickup window. The people walk past me multiple times, barely kind of not really look, and then occasionally help somebody new that walks in and I'm like, okay, you know, like at some point, right, they're going to come over and they don't. So then I got to go over to where you order and say, I'm here for a pickup, and they're like, oh, here you go. So people can't even figure out when they work at an establishment which one's the order line versus the pickup. Holy smokes, we may need more AI. Now look at this. So this is for forklift driving. This is like in a new autonomous, easy to move. Again, like that's probably smaller scale comparatively to some of the heavier stuff. But look at that. Look at the automation. Oh my goodness. It's crazy seeing the stuff that's coming out. The headline of the photo they shows here has me howling. So the street, which is a news article of sorts, says the Walmart toy coin outpaces Bitcoin even as it hit all-time highs. Yo, Peckham. Listen, can we take a minute and just acknowledge how absolutely underrated your ex has been? To be honest, you have been posting some crazy alpha. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I feel that confident saying like positive things about like literally anything in the space. And Peckham's like, this is going to happen at this time. And then boom, like an absolute friggin' gem of a human. Killing it. So this is sort of funny, though, to go over this a little bit. And I don't know why the hell they use this photo, but it looks like it's at an arcade of some sort. They have a CryptoPunk in the back, and they have this left-facing penguin. And this one, I want to say sold for around 200 ETH at a point. It recently sold for roughly the same. I think the US dollar value was a lot less than whatever it was at the time of the initial purchase. But for those that are completely unaware, basically the concept or the narrative that built around Pudgy for a while was, okay, this is a brand that is just kind of creating its narrative off of having toys in Walmart. So they're now calling the Pengu token the Walmart toy coin. And it's more of like a dig. I don't know what you want to say, but I thought that was sort of funny and got a whole bunch of traction on the timeline. And something else that I've noticed a lot more is this Adam Wheatsman. This person has been buying the most ridiculous things, getting like an inner circle, other side metaverse plot. We have a Fidenza that's like a 1 of 6, a trippy Bored Ape. There's people that have capital that are going out there spending an absolute ton of cash. And it's crazy to watch. Maybe that leads to the fact of, hey, maybe we're going to have people that are just enjoying things versus speculatively buying, because buying some of those things before, I mean, are they going for the aspect of trying to flip that or for the status symbol, etc.? So yeah, see you. Post this over the weekend. Who would like to see an ApeCoin listed public treasury company? Animoca Brands has been involved in a number of them recently, and all of them have done well, like BTC. And so I guess like the overarching thing with this, and Garga also saying, I personally would love to see this, is when we compare and contrast, do we say the argument of Well, Pudgy Penguin said that they're going to go do an ETF. So now the other NFT collections that have a notable token that's associated with the bigger blockchain can do that. Because at the same time, right, yes, we have Solana that's doing it. Yes, we have the XRP ETFs, and it's not necessarily those entities themselves. Like the issuer isn't the person that's trying to create these. Even it's all really weird, right? Because I mean, like there's Igloo Ink, there's Canary Cat. If you go across there, it all connects. And you ever seen that guy that's in what is it called, Pacific Rim, and he's got the charts in the back, and he's like smoking the thing, and he's like pointing at all the charts and whatnot. There's a lot of that going on in crypto. But the point that I guess that I'm trying to make with this is what happens to these ecosystems if this is the default way of doing things and you are considered, in quotes, a failure if your collection doesn't go out and do this. And this goes back to the same arguments of, at a point, collections had these companions or they issued a token. And if you didn't have that, or if you didn't hold a higher floor price of some sort, people were like, yeah, I don't know about that. And so somebody out there with 400 ETH apparently has been sweeping Bored Apes. They've also, not the same person, but Pudgy Penguins have been absolutely flying. We have another treasury type company. It was only a matter of time until the meme treasury started popping Whiff strategy, trying to take away from MicroStrategy, going out with the dog Whiff hat, 500,000 tokens being purchased. Again, is this just a cycle of where that is sort of the way that things are going to happen? Looking at from Pudgy, also highlighting this that I don't think I've ever noticed before. Like if you've clicked on a Pudgy Penguin GIF and it says Pengu on the top, I don't think I've seen that until recently. He's saying, don't underestimate the implications of the Pengu watermark. And I actually saw somebody that I know in person that has no idea anything about crypto, and they posted this on their other social media platform. Not that specific gift, but I'm like, holy crap, it is true. At what Bitcoin price do you think retail wakes up? See, this is the question for Peckham, but I'll go first. I don't think they're coming for a long time. And this is something that I feel I almost overdo. So we've talked about how I do the RWA Segments podcast, where you can check out the link in the description below if you want to listen to that. But something that I bring up with every guest, and I almost feel like I'm repeating myself, but everybody has almost a different take on it regarding the fact that there is still, I believe, a pretty strong stigma against crypto. You have people that rushed in before, and obviously, the market ended up cratering, and some people that ended up holding through are probably like, hell yeah, or if they're not hell yeah, they're optimistic at best. And then there's the people that have gotten burned, and you see a lot of negativity around that, and people that when they're negative or they hate something, they go out and they, not protest necessarily, but they'll definitely let you know, hey, yeah, we're not really a fan of that. And so we have Bitcoin at 120,000. How many people do you know that you are into crypto or Web3 in any capacity, right? Like and this is also, I think, a very, very large problem that I think there is an assumption, right? Like if we were going to meet in person, or even if we're here, you might think like, holy smokes, that guy's like well off. He's really No. That's not how it works. I'm interested in the industry. That doesn't mean that I'm like some rich individual, right? And I think there's this connotation, because I've had it with friends, right? Like I play League of Legends or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, like that Schiller guy, yeah, he's into crypto and stuff. And there's the assumption that like there's just value associated with it, which is like kind of funny that there's that, but at the same time, there's still such like a huge negativity towards it. But I mean, Bitcoin's at 120, and there's still the people that like will title that and say, oh yeah, that crypto person, whatever, and then not even research anything, not even look into it, not even have a care in the world about it. They won't be here until Ready Player One launches. As soon as you have, and I quote, Daddy, what's an NFT? AKA what happens when families watch Web3 via Ready Player One in the cinema? That's an interesting question. And then how do people get introduced from that and beyond other rails? What do they, and so actually today, which was like a really, really fun conversation, not to spoil next week, and tomorrow we're dropping the podcast with the Meebit CEO, but there was a individual that's working on Bula Network, and his name is Mike Revy, and we had a fascinating conversation this morning, and he's doing something for the freight industry where I don't want to go in like the whole conversation, but it was very specific, and it was something that was a use case that wasn't about speculation. And I think there's going to be a huge realm where, to Peckham's point of somebody getting introduced to NFTs from seeing it in a movie or whatnot, there's people that are on the business side of things for the fee, the transparency, the speed, getting out of potentially archaic systems. They're going to get opened up to certain things, and everyone's going to have their own sort of Web3 connection in this world of transparency. So this is absolutely insane, and I don't know why in the hell this isn't like elsewhere, right? So I guess in Japan, for sewer grates, they actually like put Pokemon art on them. And I'm not advocating for, oh yeah, we need like Pokemon art on our sewer grates, but damn, why can't we have like cool things instead of basic nothings? Somebody's got to ruin it. True. I mean, that's a different whole point, right? You do these things, somebody's going to spray paint it. You can't have nice things in 2025. Unbelievable. If Star Wars does a bucket of popcorn and a helmet, then with every cinema ticket, you get a free NFT. Ooh, that's a good thought. So Pump.fun, they had a token sale over the weekend. It took a whole bunch of coins down with it, but of course it's crypto week, so everything kind of came back with it. But crazy amounts were put into this, and people are starting to do their TGEs. They're feeling comfortable about things, and there is some excitement going around. Big Belly bringing up the fact that the Make a Deal feature on OpenSea is no longer. I actually really like this. There was a point where it was... Oh, I'm going to be annoyed by this. I forget what it was called, but there was a site, NFT Trader, maybe? No, that seems too easy of a name for it. But it was something where I could create like a deal and say, okay, Peckham, you have this NFT, I have this one. Let's put it in here and make a deal where you could see the asset. It would be in a trusted custodian within the escrow, whatever it be. And you don't have to worry about DMing somebody and sending the asset first, to then have them say, haha, I just took your stuff, goodbye, right? You're just screwed. Yo, Shizzy, what's going on? How we doing? Yo, that's a crazy name. I love it. So that was a cool feature that I feel, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll miss it. There was some person that was trying to sell me a James Harden Ethereum name service. So the NBA player, it was like Harden.eth. This person was DMing me. They were sending me deals galore. They were asking for like 5 ETH. Like, why the hell do I want Harden.eth? Do I look like I'm some freaky Harden fan? Now, granted, back in the day at NBA Top Shot, we did buy a moment, but it was relatively expensive. True. It's true. But listen, I don't need Harden.eth. True. I'm down with that. That's the next stage. Auto escrow. Facts. So, not to overdo the whole Pudgy conversation, but this is... I don't really know how to go into this because there was such a backlash in a very obscure way. So, over the past couple days, we've seen a ton of Web3-based companies change their profile pictures to basically Pudgy Penguins branded of whatever. I think that's cool. I think that's awesome. We've seen this before as well, but Finn here literally got blocked by Luca Nets for this. And I'm curious your guys' opinion, right? Because we're all here, we're having a good time with different perspectives. So they say, after 24 hours, Coinbase and OpenSea have now removed their Pudgy Penguin PFP. And in the comments, it's all people just saying, this post isn't it. As if like this is some like massively negative thing, instead of just highlighting like, yo, there's these big entities that were like, yo, we want to use the Pudgy branding, and now we don't. Like maybe I'm wrong or arrogant within the assumption, but the negativity surrounding this post, I mean, it got 151,000 views for just pointing out the fact that they changed their profile. Like, why are people so turned about it? I don't understand. Pudgy is the Tamagotchi of crypto. God, Tamagotchis suck. I bought one like a year ago. It's not the same. I remember it as a kid and they were great. It's just, it's not the same. The US, this is back on July 2nd, so 2 days ago, Digital Assets Director, not in charge, Bo Hines, says this week, will solidify America's role as the global crypto capital. And the markets went absolutely crazy. We have Bitcoin at like $120,000, right? And I don't think we've seen a single damn thing come out this week about anything crypto yet. And we're approaching 3 p.m. Eastern, right? Like that's New York time. I don't know. Listen, I don't want to act like I know everywhere across the United States, but like, is any news going to happen today? I don't know. I had a bag of Tamagotchi. No wonder what through you. So this is just funny as hell to me. So we highlighted the other day the Telegram, the Ton blockchain, Snoop Dogg had these NFTs that were just like collectibles, right? Think of Vivi might be like a good example of this, where it's just, you know, digital collectibles that were of a notable brand. So Sebastian from the Sandbox makes this post. So let's just read it. So what did they? Congrats to Snoop Dogg for his spectacular NFT drop on Ton blockchain. This moment marks the return of big celebrities and NFTs and coincides with Sand recent price increase. As the Sandbox is the home of the most as the Sandbox is the home of the most brands in Web3, which is, I mean, to even talk about this, why don't we have Sandbox like just absolutely out there trying to market everybody, showing off gameplay? I feel Sandbox went from marketing everything to just like not saying anything. And maybe it's the circles that I'm in that don't talk about it, and maybe that's more of a me thing. That's totally fair. In 2022, Snoop Dogg already stepped up in Web3 with his first collection of 10,000 doggies NFT avatars on the Sandbox and sold for 1 million plus virtual real estate in one of the most sought for neighborhood in the metaverse. Looking forward to his next move in crypto. And sorry, I don't know if Sebastian's writing's weird or my reading's probably chalked. But like, I don't think anything happened with these Snoop Dogg avatars. Not necessarily that they need to be, because it's just avatars within a game. But like, how the hell is Snoop Dogg dropping NFTs on Telegram have anything to do with the Sandbox price increase? Like, even in the slightest. I mean, I'm just going to take a random headline that has nothing to do with me, and I'm just going to tweet about it later for the hell of it. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. So my girlfriend's family, this isn't me for anybody listening on audio, but Carolina Hoddle says, my girlfriend's family are in town, and within 30 minutes, I was informed by one of them that Bitcoin is at an all-time high, and now would be a great time to sell my stack and buy, in quotes, something that has value. The suggestions included a new car, bank stocks, and bonds. Will be a fun weekend. Isn't it hilarious how so many people have opinions on what you do when, like, you don't even care about what the other individual does, right? You're never pitching them anything. You're never saying, hey, I got to do anything. But then somebody sees something and you share like a little bit of insight. They're like, you know what? You should do this, that, and the other thing. Well, guess what? They're going to look like a fool if they, I sold the other day because everything's moving, right? I mean, if it crashed, a totally different story. True, but holy smokes, we're flying. So have you ever had a bomb at your house that you had to get security to deal with? Apparently that's what happened to Brian Armstrong, so let's run into it. A white unmarked van pulled up to my house yesterday and dropped off a mysterious package. I was out of town. My security team x-rayed it and it had a battery, wires, and cylinder inside. The bomb squad was called to investigate. In the end, they discovered it was a gift from the All In Pod guys of their new tequila. A few thoughts. Huge shout out to local law enforcement and the bomb squad for the rapid response and keeping us safe. Thank you to the besties for the awesome gift. And I think I'll be giving this bottle to my security team for keeping us safe every day. We don't think about it because obviously we're in like our own lives, but I'm trying to envision like the security that Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, would need on a day-to-day basis. And then getting a package that looks like a bomb dropped off at your front door. That's unreal. Also, just for point, I feel like a lot of like the mail carriers right now are all like unmarked, right? Like they don't have the same labeling that they do. I mean, a couple of them maybe, but some of it is not marked at all. So I don't know. Anyway, John Lemon, who's watched the stream a few times, and John Lemon, if you end up watching this, what's going on? I hope your day's absolutely wonderful, and congratulations. 4 years ago today, the Doge Pound minted its first pupper. What followed 100 million plus volume, 1,000 days of nonstop building, and the most loyal community. Congrats on that. Love seeing you still kicking around. MSI midseason invitational that was over in Vancouver, T1 versus Gen G, pulled in 3.4 million viewers. Reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm still waiting to see until we get like proper esport integration. T1's a massive team. Gen G's a massive team. They're across multiple sports. When are they going to jump into the space? We saw for the League of Legends side, they try to do these LCK Legendary, like Top Shot pack rips before sort of deal. They rugged. But that means they're paying attention because it was officially branded and everything. So we'll see if they end up jumping back into space in a correct way. Just sold Gary V's 1-of-1 Super Fractor autograph, fetched $55,000. $1,000. The Topps Chrome boxes, apparently these sold for like $150 or $200 initially. They're now reselling on secondary between like $600 to $800. Kind of crazy to see the success that V-Friends have had, seemingly time and time again here with their various card launches. And it seemed that them going in that direction of focusing on the TCG was absolutely money. So we got to talk about scams. If you're not very heavy on the Solana ecosystem, maybe this isn't relevant for you, but maybe you have somebody that is, so ears perked. Scam Pengu airdrops. Scammers are currently airdropping a fake Pengu token, and note the misspelling that it's like Pegnu, not Pengu. To people that are buying the actual real token on Solana. As soon as someone purchases the legitimate Pengu token, scammers immediately send a similar amount of the fraudulent Pegnu token to the same wallet. This tactic creates confusion about which token is genuine. If users interact with the wrong token, they fall victim to a honeypot scam. And what that means for anybody that doesn't know is essentially if you are trying to buy a token, you can buy that token, right? But then you just can't ever sell it the way like the smart contract works. You're just kind of screwed. Phantom is responding by quickly removing these scam tokens or adding warning symbols next to them. However, it's essential to always verify the contract address is on chain, as Phantom currently doesn't offer a feature to nickname contracts. There has been unfortunately over $100,000 from unsuspecting victims from the scam so far, according to 2 Solana platforms for 3 contracts I've checked so far. If you see these tokens, do not interact and simply report as spam with Phantom. Beware. Gary V had his mate buy his NFT and gave him a salary bonus of $55,000. See, this is the problem with certain things, right? Like, hey, buy these books. They come with NFTs. It was absolutely the best purchase ever. If you spent like $50,000 on these and got literal crates of these books delivered to your house, you actually made bank, which is stupid as hell, but then adds to the #1 New York best time selling and everything else under the sun. And it's like, all right, because people wanted to buy the NFTs, right? But either way, very clever marketing nonetheless. Gutter Cat Gang is still around. Gutter Cat Gang was a collection that came around the same time of Cool Cats, Bored Ape Yacht Club, your favorites. And now they're doing something over on Ordinals. So they have 100 legendary cats inscribed, historic. The whitelist priority goes to Kingpins and holders of 5+ cats. Anything to grab a few more bucks, got burned twice, going to pass. I mean, I'm trying to understand why the hell you'd want to do this. Like what? So I get it, right? When you're looking at it from the business perspective, whoever the hell owns Gutter Cat right now, I don't know how much they paid for it. They probably want something back. But what are you going to do? You're probably going to have to sell more NFTs of some sort. But I feel you got to work on like building up these brands again and not just being like, hey, I bought Gutter Cat Gang after it's swapped through like 3 owners in 2 years. And we're going to do a Bitcoin Ordinals NFT, man. That just, I don't know. I feel like that just doesn't come across the right way. But final thing, honey, wake up. It's crypto week. True. So going to check out the charts right quick again. We're just like a smidge below 120K this morning. That ended up getting hit. Ethereum over $3,000. XRP looks like it's going to be hitting $3 here again. Past 7 days. Look at these: 11%, 19%, 28%. Couple, maybe a little bit of slow movers on some of these in the last couple days. Those 20%. Cardano 27, 21. Listen, people are feeling the mojo. They're feeling the moose. We got the greed index too. Anyway, that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Shizzy, Peckham, thank you so much for coming on through on the live stream here today. If you guys are watching afterwards, different point of view, whenever, thank you so much for doing so. Again, if you guys are wanting to hear more from the RWA Segments podcast, links down in the description below. It's a little bit different than this, right? Because I'm asking other people's opinion, but if you're wanting to have a little bit of knowledge regarding the RWA space and people saying, oh my God, everybody's getting into stablecoins, everybody's focusing on this narrative, I try to make these as stupidly simple as possible, where if you can understand what I'm talking about, it's going to be great for you as well. Peckham, appreciate it. Enjoy your day, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.